The Trimmed Lamp. Lou and Nancy were friends. They came to New York to find work because there was not enough to eat at their homes. Nancy was 19, Lou was 20. Both Nancy and Lou were very pretty. Lou found work in the laundry. She was an ironer. Nancy began to work as a salesgirl. At the end of 6 months of their life in a big city, Lou met a young man named Dan. They soon became very good friends. In fact, they fell in love with each other. They went out together several times a week. "Aren't you cold, Nancy?" Lou asked her friend one evening. They were standing in the corner waiting for Dan. "I feel sorry for you. Why are you working in that old store for $8 a week? I made $18 last week. Of course, ironing is not so pleasant as selling gloves in a store, but it pays. None of the ironers make less than $10 a week. I like my work." "And I like mine," said Nancy, "even though I make only $8 a week. I like to work in a big store and to be among beautiful things and nice people. One of our sales girls married a steel maker from Pittsburgh. He makes a lot of money. You may be sure I'll catch a millionaire someday. And whom can you marry working in a laundry?" "Why, I met Dan in the laundry," said Lou. "He came in to get his Sunday shirt and collars and saw me. I was ironing. Later he said he had noticed my arms. First, how white and round they were. I tell you, some very rich men come to laundries. Of course, if you want to starve or put on airs, do as you like." Just then, Dan came. He was an electrician, making $30 a week. It was clear he was in love with Lou. He looked at her with the sad eyes of Romeo. "Nancy, I want to introduce you to my friend, Mr. Owens." "Dan, shake hands with Mrs. Danforth," said Lou. "I'm very glad to meet you, Miss Danforth," he said. "I've heard so much about you from Lou." "Thanks," said Nancy. "I've heard from her about you, too." "I have tickets for a theater," said Dan. "Let's go all together." The three of them started out to have a good time together. Nancy had no gentleman friends. Nobody waited for her after work. Some of the sales girls joked that she was waiting to catch a millionaire. "I'll make the biggest catch in the world, or nothing at all," she used to say. One day, two of the sales girls who worked with Nancy invited her to have dinner together with them and their gentleman friends. The dinner took place in a fashionable cafe. One of the gentleman friends had no hair on his head. The other wore a diamond ring and liked neither the food nor the wine. The next day, the gentleman with the diamond ring appeared in the shop and asked Nancy to marry him. She said no. When he left, one of the girls said to Nancy, "Oh, what a terrible fool you are! That fellow is a millionaire. He is the son of one Skittles himself. Are you mad, Nancy? What do you want? Do you want to be a Mormon and marry Rockefeller and the King of Spain at the same time?" "I don't want his money," said Nancy. "I don't like him, that's all. I want to marry a rich man, that's true, but I will also want to like him." Lou worked on in the laundry. Out of her $18 a week, she paid $6 for her room and board. The rest of the money went for clothes. When the day's work was over, she met Dan, who was always waiting for her outside the laundry. Sometimes Dan did not like her clothes. They were too bright, he thought. and in bad taste. But she liked bright clothes, and when people in the streets looked at her, she liked it very much. Dan and Lou always asked Nancy to come with them when they went out to have a good time. One Saturday afternoon, the two girls met, and Lou said, "Dan is always asking me to marry him, but why should I? I'm independent. Now I can do what I like to do with my money I make. And if I marry Dan, he will not allow me to work. Nancy, what are your plans for the future? Have you caught a millionaire yet?" "Not yet," said Nancy with a laugh, "but I haven't selected one yet." "Oh, you're joking, of course," said Lou. "Millionaires don't notice working girls like us. Still, I'm sure that I'll catch one before you do." One Thursday evening, Nancy left the store and walked over to the laundry. Dan and Lou had invited her to go to the musical comedy with them. Dan was just coming out of the laundry when she arrived. There was a strange, nervous look on his face. "I hope to find out something about her. I thought they had heard from her," he said. "Heard from whom? What are you talking about?" said Nancy. "Isn't Lou there?" "Oh, I thought you knew everything," said Dan. "She hasn't been here at the house where she lived since Monday. She took all her things from there. She told one of the girls in the laundry that she was going to Europe." "Oh, has anyone seen her anywhere?" asked Nancy. Dan looked at her. His gray eyes were like steel. "They told me in the laundry," he said, "that they saw her yesterday in an automobile with one of those millionaires that you and Lou were always talking about." For the first time in her life, Nancy did not know what to say. Then she laid her hand on Dan's arm and said, "You have no right to say such a thing to me, Dan. Do you think that she has done it just because of my jokes about millionaires? I'm sorry for you, but I have nothing to do with it." "I'm sorry I said it," answered Dan. "Don't be angry with me." "I have tickets for a show tonight," he said a moment later. "If you—" Nancy saw how miserable he was, and she felt sorry for him. "I'll come with you, Dan," she said. 3 months passed before Nancy saw Lou again. One evening, she was hurrying home from the store. Suddenly, somebody called her name. She turned around and saw Lou, who caught her in her arms. Nancy noticed at once that Lou had become very rich. She was well dressed and had diamond rings on her fingers. "Oh, you little fool," cried Lou. "I see you're still working in that store. I see you have not caught your millionaire yet." And then Lou looked and saw that Nancy had something better than money, something that shone brighter than stars in her eyes, something that was redder than a rose in her cheeks. Happiness. "Yes, I'm still in the store," said Nancy, "but I'm going to leave it next week. I've made my catch, the best catch in the world. I'm going to be married to Dan." "To Dan? He's my Dan now." A policeman going around the corner of the park saw 2 young women. One of them, with diamond rings on her fingers, was crying like a child. The other, a simply dressed working girl, was trying to console her. The policeman passed on. He knew he could not help the one who was crying.